Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Index Office Hours. Today is the 9th of September, and this is Index Office Hours 224. For all those who are new to Index Office Hours, first of all, welcome. This is the town square where graph ecosystem participants come together and discuss the most important and relevant topics for indexers. As always, this is a conversation and we do love participation, so feel free to get involved in today's conversation via voice or text. If you're having any challenges with your microphone, do let me know and I'll get that sorted for you. You also have the text box in the corner there if you'd like to type some stuff out in the chat there as well. Thanks for reposting the agenda there, Juan. That's great for people to follow along to. As a reminder, this session is going to be recorded and posted onto public channels like YouTube. So if you are concerned about privacy, please bear that in mind. And with that, let's get into today's agenda. So as always, well, not as always, actually, first time, I'm going to hand over to Juan for Repo Watch.
Thanks, 𝗨𝗀𝗲𝗂. I think it's the second time, but yes, not always. Okay, for Repo Watch, we have a few things to cover, starting with the execution layer clients. As there was a discussion, right before we started recording, 𝗨𝘀𝗲𝗂 3.6.0.16 Utterly Odyssey has been released. Which the summary for this release was essentially that the release introduces support for the Rio hard fork on Polygon, set to occur on September 11. I had in my notes that users should adopt this release if they are on Amoy or experiencing specific issues fixed in the latest version. Others should wait for 3.1. But if, unfortunately, if you're on Amoy, it seems there are quite a lot of issues. I don't know if we should be discussing them now. Maybe, Matthew, you want to say something about this in particular, or at least we should say that, some of the indexers have been experiencing issues with this release. Essentially, I think it essentially breaks your 𝗨𝘀𝗀𝗃 instance. So, be careful if you aim to upgrade or just wait for a version that's working a little bit better. Of course, this urgency was read because it implements a critical hard fork, implementation for the critical hard fork. But again, if it's going to break your instance, you should probably be careful. Then next up, we have streaming fast geth. There is a new version 1.16.3-FH3.0. This release includes critical security patches addressing vulnerabilities affecting consensus. The operators must implement these updates immediately to ensure system integrity. Again, this is a critical update, a red urgency update, due to the critical security patches that affect consensus integrity. Again, the link is in the agenda if you're interested in following along with those release notes. Then we have a new version for Breathe. This is 1.7.0. Which addresses critical issues, including state root calculation errors causing node downtime. The operators must update their nodes and perform necessary diagnostics to ensure stability and performance improvements. This release also introduces flash blocks support and various bug fixes. Also another urgency red code, because there is the state root issue, calculation issue that has been fixed. Next up, we have Nethermind 1.33.1. Which fixes critical issues with transaction receipt handling and configuration settings, enhancing stability and accuracy for blockchain operators. Users relying on historical data and receipts should implement this update to avoid potential disruptions. This is a yellow urgency update. It has important fixes, not something immediately critical, but it is. If you're running Nethermind, you should probably update. Then for the consensus layer clients, we have 𝗀𝘀𝗃 25.9.2. This hotfix release version 25.9.2 addresses a critical deadlock issue that caused node running the prior version to stall. Node operations using the prior version, which is 25.9.1, are strongly urged to upgrade, while the update is optional for others. So again, if you're on the previous patch version, you should probably update this one because it does contain a critical bug fix. Next up, we have on the graph stack, we have GraphNode B0.40.1, which enhances IPFS login by including some content identifiers in operation names, improving debugging capabilities for blockchain software operators. Again, no critical changes in this one or security patches, but it is going to be quite important if you are trying to debug something in GraphNode. And yes, my kitty is it's kind of like, meowing in the worst possible moment. That is all for Report Watch from the looks of it. So I'm gonna be handing over to myself again for Protocol Watch, and I'm also gonna be saying that there's literally no updates in Protocol Watch, so that's pretty much it. And I'm gonna be handing over to Kate now.
Hi. We are making some progress with our impending indexing rewards, hopefully for 𝗨𝗲𝗂𝗟𝗶, that's the BNB testnet, and Ethereum Sepolia. So those are going through governance right now. I did post a little update for folks in the indexer channel. So once I have a clearer idea around timeline, I will post that in the indexer channel as well. And we also finished our testing for Unichain, and so that's being evaluated, our reports by the tab. And so again, when it looks like we have a clearer timeline on the governance process and getting closer to the end of that, I will also post that in the indexer channel. And that's all on our end for the time being.
Alrighty, perfect. Thank you all for the sections there. Juan is having a chat with himself in the chat. We love that. Juan 1 and Juan 2, exactly. Yeah, love that, love that. Okay, cool. Let's see. So we haven't done this in a while, but want to open up the conversation for any support related stuff. So if there's anything that people have that they'd like to bring up in terms of challenges they're facing, I want to create a space so that we can have that discussion, and hopefully either here on the call amongst the indexers, you guys can figure out what the challenges are, and we can get them solved. Otherwise, I'm happy to forward stuff on to the core developers to try and get something sorted. So is there anything in relation to, I mean, we obviously had the discussion about Polygon earlier, and that seems to be like an issue, but it's being kind of progressed along with Aragon, if I'm not mistaken. There was an update that Matthew posted. But yeah, is there anything related to anything that the core developers can help with that we can try and get sorted for you between now and the next call? Would love to hear that. Or any sort of topic people would love to bring up as well. I see Matthew's typing, so I'm assuming something's coming. The question is, there was some discussion on POI divergences in the indexer channel. Not sure where that conversation ended up. Okay, that's great. Could you maybe link to that conversation there, so we can have a look, and see who was involved and what came of it. Would love to see that. And yeah, love to push that conversation forward if there's still stuff that needs to be figured out in relation to POI divergences. Juan, I think you've got like coverage on that. No, if I'm not mistaken. You might have some insight into this.
Sorry, I was answering something in Slack. Can you repeat?
So there's a question here about some discussion on POI divergences in the indexer channel. Is that something you've been privy to and have some
I did not
context on?
participate in those discussions, but can you give me a brief summary, Matthew?
Yeah, if you have some context, Matthew, that'd be great. anything else to cover on missing IPFS data? Could you provide a bit more context? Would love to. Okay, so found the POI thread. So I'll just tag you there, Juan, so you can see. Yeah, this is a conversation with Sergey, and Ford was in here as well. Yeah, and I can see that you've posted here about next steps and follow-ups. Maybe I see Slim is in here as well, and there was a tag for the indexer support crew. So maybe Slim, do you have any context here that you could perhaps maybe share with us?
We discussed this on, was it IOH like 7 days ago, or was it the week before, where we discussed, I think it was the week before, right before the end of that, where we discussed it a little bit. There hasn't been a lot of movement on that side, other than what we mentioned then, that there are some tools that may make it easier for indexes to catch the deterministic, catch and improve on POI discrepancies on deterministically failed subgraphs, or catch when subgraphs fail deterministically, but at different points for different indexes. But as long as those tools are not readily available and integrated in the indexer stack, it is not our intention to push hard on making indexes, be spending a lot of time on trying to investigate individual subgraphs that fail. I don't think that is the right end to start. I think we need to work on the tooling if we have to improve the situation on the network. And so after that, we haven't really made any development on that side, but I'll make sure to bring it up in IOH if we do. And until then, that is the intention, is that if a subgraph is deterministically failed as per the arbitration charter, indexers should be able to close it without being afraid of getting slashed. But we do now have somebody. So that is one side. The other side is that we do now have somebody from InfraDAO that is now contributing to the GraphNode team, and some of that resource have been earmarked with working on improvements, bug fixes, and feature requests specifically that have been requested by indexers. So that is a huge improvement for indexers, because we now have a direct line through the indexer experience working group, where we are spending significant time triaging and looking at individual issues and the feature requests that have been requested. Now we also have somebody from the indexer community that is directly contributing to GraphNode, and that can spend some of their time implementing those features and making sure that we have a good index experience going forward. So I think that is a huge win. And I think that is also where we can look into these things, like subgraphs that are failing deterministically, and consider whether it's worth spending that GraphNode time on improving that situation. Should we instead spend it on other features that indexers are requesting? And that's something we can take in that chat. We go through more in-depth each of the features, and and requests that have been made there. So
Amazing. That's awesome to hear that there's additional resource there. So hopefully that will help push things forward. Does that answer your question, Matthew? Any thoughts or follow-ups there? Feel free to hop on the mic if that's easier as well. See Matthew's typing. I guess I would ask Sergey if that addresses his question, since that, yeah, that was very true. Sergey's here right now. Sergey, do you want to chime in? I see Sergey is typing. You should have the ability to, I've just verified you, and then I'm going to give you the ability to speak. I think you should already have it, but if you don't, I'll ensure that you do. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There we go. Okay. You should be able to hop on the mic if you'd like. Or typing is also cool as well if that's your preference, but you do have the ability to speak now. I've just given you access. Yep. Subgraphs are still failing, yeah. Yeah, but what do you any follow-ups from what Slim said? He's mentioned that there's going to be some extra resource on this. Yeah, any thoughts on what Slim responded, how Slim responded? Any thoughts? I want to make sure that your questions and uh, are answered and feel like you have a direction going forward. I know that you posted the subgraphs on request by the GraphNode team. See Sergey's typing. Sure, we are waiting on the tools from them, from the team. Also, we are working on release of our own tools. Okay, cool, cool, awesome. So it sounds like things are in motion. Good stuff. And then Matthew asks as well, anything else to cover on missing IPFS data? Would be great if you could provide a little bit more context there so we can get the question answered or have a direction to move with that one there. That'd be great. Thank you. I see Matthew's typing.
Yeah,
Okay, sounds like
provide
oh,
some
sorry, go
general
ahead.
context if you want. So
Yeah, sure.
there's been a lot of errors experienced by indexers, and I guess in the past week or so related to IPFS. So what happens when these error occurs? It usually means that there are subgraphs that are not starting, and indexers are not able to process them. So that there's been a few events. Some of them were large. I don't know how to describe them exactly, but bursts of 529 errors are basically instances where the IPFS endpoints are refusing the request from the indexers for some reason. And I think these events were solved relatively quickly, but then there were lingering 404, so missing IPFS files, and took a while, but I believe everything is now fixed. But if any indexer is still experiencing problem with missing IPFS or 404 errors related to IPFS, they should consider running the latest version of GraphNode 0.40.1 that has additional logging related to IPFS, and that should help a lot trying to identify the missing files and having EdgeNode. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing, but getting EdgeNode to ultimately fix these issues.
Perfect. I've just pasted the link there to the release. Appreciate you providing the context there. It doesn't seem like there is, but my plan is to note this down and bring this to the EdgeNode team after the conversation, so that we can get some follow-ups for the next conversation. But usually there's usually someone from the EdgeNode team at the IOH, but today there isn't. So just gonna hand that off to them and then try and get some thoughts. Beyond what was just discussed there, is there any specifics that you'd like to forward on to EdgeNode? I see Matthew's typing. Maybe they can share any lessons learned and what they're doing different as a part of their post-mortem process. Make sure the problem doesn't happen again. Yeah, that's a really good point. I will make a note of that. I will copy that now, put that on my task list, follow up with Edge on this. Okay, done. I will make sure that someone from EdgeNode comes on and discusses that, or shares context in the chat there. Is anyone else facing any IPFS issues at the moment, getting a 404, and hasn't already used the latest GraphNode update?
Yeah, I don't know if it's fully resolved, but if anyone that still has them, they should report it.
Mm.
But I'd like to mention that as part of the, I don't know, post-mortem of lesson learned, GraphNode 0.40 has a new feature to locally cache the IPFS files. I'm considering activating it. Maybe other indexers should do the same. So if these outages happen again, that should really reduce the impact of them.
Awesome. I see Matthew's typing as well. Did anyone try that feature yet? A question for the group. Anyone tried this? Would be good to know how it works. Payne is usually the one who tests in prod. So Payne, have you tried this? Or Marc-Andre, anyone? Gotcha. So not yet from Marc-Andre or Payne. Anyone else? See Marc-Andre's typing. Basically, two configs, local storage or Redis. Redis is experimental according to the logs. Okay, cool. That's useful information. Appreciate you sharing that. Yeah. Awesome, awesome. Okay, cool. Well, I will relay this information to Edgenode as requested, and yeah, hopefully we'll get a follow up either in the chat there or on IOH next week or the following. Cool. Another thing that I wanted to discuss is I know that Slim and Payne have been leading the Indexer Experiencer working group. So maybe if you guys have any updates from the latest calls, feel free to update the IOH folks on anything you guys wanna share in that regard.
I think
See,
the latest one, the previous one, we spent quite a bit of time on going through graph node issues and triaging them and discussing what the priority should be from the indexer community side. So that was the latest call. So my thought there was to for us to have the resource from InfraDAO work on some of these tasks and then report back here to, in a way, close the loop that this is all coming from the indexer community, and that person have already started working on some of these things that we triaged in the index experience working group. So hoping to report on that going forward, but I'm not sure if you want to highlight anything in particular that might be interesting or that might be a hot take when it comes to some of these features, but I'll let Payne is the one leading that segment of the index experience working group. So if he wants to mention anything, I'll let him do that. If not, then yeah, I'll keep people posted.
Bad timing right now because I'm not anywhere near Notion, but we have noted a bunch of low-hanging fruits that will significantly increase the user experience for indexers in particular, for network indexers in particular. Yeah, I can make a list of everything that we've gone through, and or Orion, can we just share the Notion page? Because I think that's like the easiest way to go forward with it. Because it's all public issues, right? But yeah, like we've pinned down a bunch of low-hanging fruits and a bunch of high priority fixes that we can tackle, and yeah, this will be the priority of the new GraphNode guy to deal with in the short term.
Yeah, and I'm also seeing a question from Marc-André in chat as well that is leading up to something that we may touch on, that we may also go through in an index experience working group call or 2 or 3 in the upcoming weeks. As Marc-André mentioned that anyone using testnet right now, Horizon is coming. And yeah, we are actually moving into testing phases of Horizon right now. So it's pretty exciting. That will bring the graph from being a one-trick pony to be a platform where people can launch different data services, and some of these data services are already in the works. Some are services that are currently running as a more of a hosted solution. So that is currently live on Ethereum Sepolia, which is not our canonical testnet right now, and we will be moving that over to Arbitrum Sepolia pretty soon, and we'll see. We'll run some very extensive testing on that side. That's also something that Payne will be we will be leading a lot of the work on, and we'll also make sure that indexes are ready, and we'll be able to also test and test those new those changes to the network components and everything else. Maybe new weekly segment in IOH Road to Horizon. Yeah, absolutely. It might be worth at least having some kind of update on any of the currently public services and changes and upgrades. But I'm not sure how much overlap that would be with the protocol watch, and with there used to also be some. I think there was governance watch as well. I'm not sure if we still do that, but so there might be some overlap there.
Yeah, we forum governance, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Juan was the section that we would talk about that stuff. But since this is like a reasonably sizable update, I'm happy to maybe just move that forum governance into a new section called like Road to Horizon, as Matthew suggested, and maybe go into a bit more detail as it relates to Horizon. I'd love to hear from you guys what exactly you'd like to see from that section. So it sounds like Matthew saying update from testers, how it's going, that kind of jazz. And then there's a comment here from Marc-Andre saying thanks, Oriane Slim Chance. Glad to hear it's been tackled. We'll need to raise some awareness on the importance of indexes testing Horizon and making sure they understand what is going to change and how to navigate the transition. Yeah, okay. It seems like there's a decent amount of consensus in the chat that this is important. So a section as it relates to update from the testers. I'm just going to write this down so I have it logged. Yeah, I do like that, and I'm always down to add new segments that would be useful. So let me just go ahead and do that. So Road to Horizon. So want to see like update from testers, how it's going, and then Marc-Andre saying understand what's going to change, and how to navigate the transition. Anything else? I'm just making some notes here in relation to that new segment that is being proposed. So anyone that wants to share anything that would be useful to discuss in that segment, would love to hear from you, so I can incorporate that into the upcoming segment. And if that is good, then I'm happy to run with that. Right now, what I have is update from testers, how it's going, understand what's going to change for indexes, and then also how to navigate the transition. So I will look into getting that added to the upcoming IOH segments. That's good. Since we're here talking about updates to IOH, is there anything that I'd love to just turn this to the audience and try and get some feedback, because it's important to try and iterate and improve. Is there anything that we can do to improve the IOH segments, the call, any parts that you would like to add or remove? I think it'd be a great opportunity just to like gather some feedback in case people have any. So feel free to type in the chat or come on to the microphone and just maybe share a few thoughts. I'd love to hear that. One bit of feedback that I heard from a while ago was to ensure that we don't overschedule for IOH and have sessions where things can be a bit more open and discussed. So today is kind of one of those days. It seems like there's quite a few bits and bobs to discuss, which is great. But yeah, would love to hear if there's any thoughts on how we can improve IOH going forward. That'd be great to hear. There's nothing we can improve? Surely there's something. I would love to hear if anyone has any thoughts. In the meantime, oh yeah, Matthew's typing. Good stuff. Would love to hear feedback and thoughts. We love it. Damn, that's savage. I wasn't expecting that. That's harsh. Oh man. Okay. Don't know about that one. That's funny. That's funny. Okay, yeah, okay, yeah. Do you want to host, Matthew? Do you want to host the next week's IOH? No, I'm good. Bring back able pronouncing names. Oh man. Savage. Absolute savage. Well, I mean, if you give me some names to pronounce, I'll have you down. I'd be down. I think that was a fun. I did enjoy that segment. That was a fun segment. They better fix Polygon soon. Indeed. That's hilarious. Okay. Absolutely. I'll give you a set list for next week. Okay, but they can't be like super crazy difficult. They have to be like moderately difficult. Then I'm down. He's put with the laughing face. I love it. Maybe you can find some names from the Polygon team. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Yeah, that would be funny. That would be funny. Okay. One thing I wanted to discuss in relation to IOH is the interplay between the Indexer working experience group and IOH. And maybe this is something we can discuss off IOH, Slim and I. But if you have any thoughts, Slim, and want to share with the group, and maybe we can have a group discussion about how we can bring these two calls closer together, that'd be cool. Is that something you want to discuss? Oh, okay, Sandeep. Okay, Sandeep Nailwall, right? I feel like that's right. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. He must have said his full name in an interview somewhere. Sandeep Nailwall. I think that's right. I don't know if I'm I think I'm pronouncing it right. Anyone have any thoughts? Anyone know? Radio silence. Nobody knows? Let's see, Josh is typing. I don't know, but I'll give you that. Okay, good. Nice. Thank you. I get some credit. Awesome. I see Slim is typing. Slim's either going to confirm or deny that I've got it right, or he's going to post another one. Oh, okay. He's the CEO of Polygon. Mark Boyron? Their foundation. Mark. What? Byron? Oh, that's interesting. I never would have. Okay. Vince is laughing at me. Byron. Oh my God, Slim is coming through. Is this also from the from Polygon, Slim?
Yeah, also from Polygon.
Jesus Christ, these guys.
That's the CEO.
That's the CEO. Okay, damn. Okay, Ryan. Oh my God. How do you even pronounce that? Brother. Uh, Nia. I I can't. What is that? How do you pronounce this?
To be honest, I have no idea. I know the other, the nail wall is. I think it's 𝗨𝗨. Nel, like as in Nell, not nail, but I mean, I also know that with this time zone, I don't think there's anyone that speak
Is it
Hindi that
Czech?
would correct us.
Is it like Czech or Croatian? It seems like some European. I feel like I don't know. Payne's going to jail. Payne is going to freaking jail. Oh, that's easy. That's a bottle of water. That's easy. Need. So okay, Vince has tried this. So needs elect. Need select. Need select. That seems plausible. That seems plausible. Payne, you try. You try. You go on, off mute and try and pronounce Ryan's name. Bottle of water, exactly. Need. You're having a giggle, mate. Need Jalek. Need Jalek. I wonder where that's from. Does anyone know? Is that Greek? Ah, that's very plausible. That is very plausible. Could be Greek for sure. Yeah. Okay, we got the POAP there. We it's cell natural behavior. Make sure you grab your POAP. Oh, it's Polish? Oh yeah, it could be Polish, yeah. I think it's some European. I don't know. I like that meme. Yeah, it's some European. I can't put my finger on what kind of European, but it's definitely European. Like yeah. Yeah. Oh gosh. Okay. John Kyriakou. What? The Kyriakou. Who? Kyriakou? 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 Kyriakou. Okay. That's close. I think I was like close. No? I'm doing better than I have done previously. Where is it from? Where's do you know? It's Greek. Okay. Nice. Yeah, we love a nice Greek name. That's 2 for 2. Nice, nice. That's not bad. That's not bad. I think I did better than I thought I would do. And I know this is like the exact time when someone's gonna post something that's gonna be like unhinged and like I don't know, like quadruple barreled. I don't even know if that exists, but somebody's gonna post something that's crazy and I'm not gonna be able to pronounce. Oh man. I see Gemma and Payne are typing, so let's see what comes. We went on a side quest. Another suggestion is POAPs with a British spelling. Oh yeah, yeah. I think POAP. Yeah. Indeed, indeed, indeed. This is hilarious. I love it. I love it. Vince is typing. Let's see. The British spelling is the only correct spelling, by the way. I don't know why others pick American spelling. I think it's incorrect. Britain created British. England created English. We won. It's color. No, that's not how you spell it. It's spelled like this. That's hilarious. Anyways, I will okay, fair enough. America is cooler than Britain, and you guys did win, so I will concede. I will concede. Okay, I wish you guys a fantastic rest of your Tuesday. If there are any final thoughts, feel free to shout in the chat. The POAP is linked there, so feel free to grab the POAP. And you're very welcome, Vince. And we will see you guys again same time next week for another edition of Pronouncing Words at IOH. That was fun. I really enjoyed that. Take care, everyone, and see you.